Hi, I'm Anna Biggins, a registered dietitian nutritionist, and today we're going to keep it simple with an air fryer chicken and potatoes recipe. This would be perfect for someone with FCS because it's very low fat, and we're going to do it all in the air fryer. So let's get started. So the first step is to take your chicken and go ahead and pat that dry. We want that to also be pretty flat so that it cooks evenly. So we'll take this and then just kind of flatten it with the heel of your hand. Make it about the same thickness. Okay, I'm gonna flip that over and do the same thing to the other side. And then after this, we're also gonna kind of trim off some of the bits of fat around the outside of the chicken here. Okay, whoops, there we go. All right. Okay, so you can kind of see on the side of this chicken, there's bits and pieces of fat, so I'm just going to trim off those, make it nice and clean. All right, so chicken obviously is a great source of protein. Even for people without FCS, protein is an essential nutrient, so this would be a great one to serve for the whole family. And we'll just go ahead and kind of discard the rest of that. And then once we've got that set, and it looks pretty flat, we're going to transfer that to a bowl. And then go ahead and squeeze some lemon juice on here. Just going to use half of it because the other half we're going to save for the potatoes. And by doing the lemon juice on this, it's saving us a lot of fat. So we're not using oil to make this, kind of a juicy chicken recipe. We're just going to do the lemon juice on here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands because I touched the chicken. And then we're gonna add all of the spices into the same bowl, and half of them are gonna go and season the chicken. The other half is gonna season the potatoes. So we are gonna start with a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper for the whole recipe. So this is still gonna be a pretty low sodium recipe since this is gonna be split into several portions. So we've got our salt and our pepper here. Okay. And then we will add 1 teaspoon each of paprika, which gives the chicken a nice dark color because the oil typically would help give that chicken that deep color as it is cooking. But since we're not using any oil for this low fat recipe, we're gonna get that good color with paprika. And so we'll do a full teaspoon of that here. And then we are also gonna add a full teaspoon of rosemary next. Also gives it that nice hearty flavor. And it's okay, it doesn't have to be exact for the spices. Just measure with your heart. And then a full teaspoon of the oregano leaves. All right. And then after that, just a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder and then a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. All right, and then our garlic. You could also, if you want, if you don't have all these spices at home or if you just want to make it even simpler and skip the steps of all the measuring, is just go straight to your favorite low salt chicken seasoning blend. Because that would definitely cut down the steps. But if you've already got everything at home, might as well use what you've got. And then just kind of mix all of that together. All right. And half of this is going to go over the chicken. And we do want this to marinate a little bit as the potatoes, as we're chopping the potatoes. So go ahead and just sprinkle half of that over the chicken. We'll go ahead and turn that over and then season the other half as well. Okay, so that's gonna get nice and juicy because of the lemon in here. Just cover that real nicely. Okay, and we're gonna let that sit. Most of the potatoes are chopped, but we can still chop some of those while that gets ready. And our air fryer is preheating. It's set at 375 degrees. And then we're gonna start with the chicken in there in a little bit. But for the potatoes, we would just wanna chop these into bite-sized pieces. So what I typically do is cut these little potatoes in half lengthwise, set them down flat, cut them in half again, each side, and then chop those maybe into small sections like that, right? So they're bite-sized, they're gonna be easy to cook pretty evenly and quickly in the air fryer. You also don't have to use these potatoes. You could use a sweet potato, you could use any variety of colorful potatoes that you find. But potatoes are a great source of potassium. They actually help with blood pressure. And the skin is a really good source of fiber, which most people need more of. Plus, I don't know many people who don't like potatoes, so it's sure to make the whole family happy. Okay, so we'll go ahead and add these potatoes to the bowl here. Almost done. All right. And then same thing, the same way that we seasoned the chicken, we're going to go ahead and toss the potatoes with the other half of the lemon. If you want to make it more easy and convenient, you can always just use the lemon juice that comes in a bottle, about a tablespoon on the chicken and then a tablespoon on these potatoes. Okay. And then we'll dump the rest of the spices in here. We're going to use some different tongs to stir these together so we got no cross-contamination. All right, so we'll mix these up with some new tongs just to make it all nice and evenly coated. And again, that air fryer is warming up and it should be just about ready for the chicken. So we'll put the chicken in first in the air fryer and cook that for about 5 minutes. And then after that, we'll flip it over to the other side and then add the potatoes around it. If you have a small air fryer like ours today, we'll probably just fit 1 chicken breast in at a time. If you have a bigger air fryer, you can do more chicken breast, and it even cooks faster if you do chicken tenderloin. So that's another trick. Chicken tenderloins only take about 10 minutes in the air fryer at 375 degrees. But we just want to make sure that the chicken reaches an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit so that it's fully cooked. All right, so the next step is to get this in the air fryer. So our chicken has been marinating for a few minutes now. We are going to go ahead and pop this straight in the air fryer. You don't actually need to spray any oil in this because, again, the lemon juice is going to keep it nice and moist, and we want to keep it low fat. But if you did want to add some non-stick spray to this, it would not add any significant amounts of fats. You would just want to do about a 1/4 second spray on the chicken and then a 1/4 second spray on the potatoes. So this is going to go in the air fryer for 5 minutes to start, and then we'll flip it, add the potatoes, and cook it for another 10 to 15 minutes. So this is 5 minutes done on the chicken for that side. We're going to go ahead and flip this over so that the other side is facing up. And as you can see, we didn't add any oil, but it's still starting to get brown. It's that paprika going to work. And then we've got a lot of potatoes here. This is a small basket, so I think I might just work in batches here. Probably just do about half of the potatoes with this one. But again, if you've got a bigger basket, or if you have one of the air fryers with kind of 2 layers to it, you can totally do the chicken on 1 layer and potatoes on another. So now with this, we are going to send this back into the air fryer, kind of nestle the potatoes around that. We're going to cook this for another 10 minutes. I'm going to take it out, check it, shake it, temp the chicken, see if it's at 165 degrees Fahrenheit. As soon as the chicken reaches that internal temperature of 165 and you can pierce the potatoes easily with a fork, this is done. You can serve it with a salad. You can serve it with some other air fryer broccoli or air fryer green bean type of recipe, or whatever other vegetable suits your fancy. So we're going to put this back in the air fryer and keep going. Okay, so we've just taken the chicken and potatoes out of the air fryer. The temperature of the chicken is at 165 degrees Fahrenheit, and you'll know the potatoes are done if you can pierce them with a fork and they come out nice and tender. So as you can see, even without any oil, this is a beautiful air fryer recipe. Your family's gonna love it. It's got chicken, it's got potatoes, you plate it up with some veggies or a nice salad, and dinner is ready to go in 30 minutes or less.